Perfect fit. Do, do, care. I hope you can see me. Yes. 3 minutes. All right. Welcome, everyone. This is Perfect Fit. Just so those of you who are not sure, oh, I see you on Facebook. Welcome. I mean, on Instagram, Facebook, welcome. Just drop me a hello, so I know I'm not alone here. So yeah, we're here again. We've moved from Sunday to Saturday, and I'm literally hosting this right after a back to back. I had a class this morning and then a meeting, and here we are. So I'm here. I'm energetic. I'm giving you some of my energy. Come grab it. But we want to look at perfect fit and self-awareness today. Self-awareness, self-awareness. How do you have a relationship with somebody if you don't know who you are? How do you have a relationship with somebody if you don't know who you are? Um, and so we have to do some type of self-evaluation in order to be while we're selecting a mate. This is for people who want to select a mate to spend the rest of their lives with. And we do this show to let you know that it is not. Look, don't just jump into marriage. Don't just jump into a relationship just because you want to get married. People jump into it and they jump out of it very quickly. What wouldn't it be nice if this is my desire, and this is my belief. I believe that there are people in this world that are yours, that are in your line of sphere of journey in this world, right? They're here in your sphere of influence, in your areas of existence. Have you ever had a friend? Do you have a friend where you all just get along so much better? You don't have to explain to each other. You all just get it. You get it. And there are friends where you have to work a lot at it. That's the same thing. There are people that get you. There are people that are connected to you. So this whole notion of a perfect fit, it's not about being perfect, but about getting someone who is connected to you in a way that other people might not be connected. And look, let me tell you, you don't find that these are not you don't find this all the time. Some people go the rest of their lives without finding that person, or those people that they can put in their circle. So don't take this lightly. So what we're saying is that there's somebody for you. So I invite you into this space. I invite you to take this journey with me, and begin to think of the person you would like to be, not just the person you want to come into your life, but the person you would love to be when you have somebody to love for the rest of your life. Yeah, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the cranky person? Do you want to be the one who has all this traumas that has not been integrated? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Because we carry our past into our future. So we need to at some point begin to say, look, if I don't like the way this past was operating back then, I have to figure out a way to change it moving forward. Yeah, I have to find a way to change it. And one of those ways is through self-awareness. Being we all do this all the time in different ways. There's public self-awareness, for example. This is being aware of how you appear to others. If you're going to work that's a shirt and tie kind of work, you're not going to show up in tennis shoes. You know how to show up. You know how to do the self-awareness that's public. While there are benefits to this type of self-awareness, there's also danger tip into being self-consciousness. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about self-consciousness. I'm talking about self-awareness. So it is important that self-consciousness is when you're constantly worrying about what people think about you. Okay, that's not it. This is the self-aware, the ability to focus on yourself and how your thoughts, your actions, your feelings, your emotions, and everything around you, how it impacts your life. how your internal thermostat is help is as is help is regulating your life, because the things that you're unaware of still matters even though you are not aware of them. So private self-awareness is being able to notice and reflect on your internal state, not judgment. You're not being judgmental. That's not what we're talking about today. Not about being judgmental. You're not being judgmental. This is about being kind to yourself. This is about evaluating yourself, being introspective, and not being afraid to look at those feelings and those reactions. So if we pause right now, and I just told you, I said, what are you thinking? What comes up in your mind right now? What is it that you're feeling? Then explore that. If you find yourself tensing up in the presence of somebody, you want to say, why am I doing that? If you find yourself anxious, with people, what is that about? You want to be you want to figure out what is going on within you, because if you don't figure that out, when somebody else comes into your space, when somebody else comes into your presence, you are going to unconsciously sabotage that relationship, or bring all kinds of wounding into that relationship. So what we want is to say, what has been going on with me? We're not saying judge. We're not going to say, no, you're not good. You're not, no, 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 no. That is 2021 overdone with. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. This is so much more bigger. This is so much more greater. It is this whole idea that you are not your thought, that you are not your feelings, and you are not those sensations. You're so much bigger than those. That your feelings and your thoughts should not be the ones that literally runs your life. That is what we're talking about. This whole idea that you can metacognition, that you can go above, you can be aware of your cognition, you can be aware of your thinking, meta thinking, being aware of your thinking, being aware of your emotions. That is what self-awareness is about. It's about being aware of where your state is at this present moment. If you're that woman, and if you're that man, if you're that person out there who is constantly on a go, 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 you're so busy. You're so busy. You're so busy. Everything is lined up. You have everything regulated. Most of the time, you do that so that you don't have to be introspective. Most of the time, we do that so we don't have to feel. Most of the time, we do that so we can self protect. Because if I'm so busy, then I don't have time for relationship. If I'm so busy, then I don't have time for intimacy. If I'm so busy, then I don't even know who I am. So that, if you're a perfectionist, if there's something that everything has to be perfect in your life, if I'm doing this constantly, well, there's a reason why you're doing that, because it keeps people away, because it makes things untenable for other people, so they will keep away from you. So we have to figure out what we're doing in our lives. When we engage in self-evaluation, we can give some thoughts to whether what we are thinking, how we're feeling, and acting as we should, as we're acting as following some rule, some standard, as opposed to what we authentically believe. What do you believe? Okay. So if you don't know who you are and you invite somebody into your life, they're going to tell you who you are, and they're going to take you to places you should not be going. So this is information that needs to be learned. You should hear this, and we should all gather around it. Why does this matter? It matters because we want to live an authentic life. We want to show up. We want all of us to show up. Like you, the whole person should show up. Your spirit, your soul, your body, your mind, everything shows up. Show up for life. Show up in your relationship. Show up at your job. Show up. Like show up with all of you. Like put your hands on your chest and say, this is me. And if if life is mirroring some things to you that you need to change. If some people keep telling you, why do you always look so sad, or why do you always look this, or why are you always angry, or if life is mirroring those things to you, it's also a time to pause and say, what's going on with me? What's going on with me? Let me take a look. Here's some benefits of being self aware. This will help you at work too. It would so help your work to be so self aware. It gives you, number one, it gives us the power to influence outcomes. That is one of the reasons why self awareness is so powerful. It gives you the power to influence outcomes. Like you everything that becomes in your locus of control that you can control. And when you know what's going on in your life, life is not just happening to you anymore. You are literally becoming an influencer on your own life. You're influencing your life. How about that? You are an influencer in your life. So if you want to be an influencer in your own life, write it in the chat box. Let me hear you say, I am an influencer in my own life. I want to influence my own life. The power to influence the outcomes in my life, the power to change the outcomes, to know that this is what I'm going for in life. Number two, it helps us to become better decision makers. It gives you the power to become better decision makers. It gives you this sense of the confidence that comes from self-evaluation, that comes from self-evaluation, that look, these things might not be the way I want them to be on the outside, but on the inside, I'm good. Like, I'm good. I'm riding this thing home. This is what you want to do. You want to get to the point where you're not only influencing your own life, but you become a better decision maker. You cannot be a good decision maker if you don't have all of the facts. I put something on social media yesterday. You cannot get the right answer by asking the wrong questions. So self-evaluation it gets you to the point where you know, okay, that is what I should be doing. That's the question I should be asking. Pause, take a step back and see, why isn't this working? What is going on with this? And be real with yourself. Okay. Another thing about self-awareness is this. Self-awareness allows us to uh, understand that there are multiple ways of looking at things. That is, your way is not the only way. You would get to look at things from different perspective. Some people die in this whole thing, or, well, it's my way or the highway. Well, if you're saying that, it's because you think you're the arbiter of all truths. You're not. You're not. There are multiple ways of saying things. In fact, we can all look at the same thing and come up with different explanations. There are multiple ways, there are multiple perspectives. One of the reasons why we get stressed in life is because we put ourselves in this box. We box ourselves up. Okay, it's either A or B. Well, if you can't get A or B, then then there you go. Then you're messed up. But how about if there's another way? How about if another way? So if I cannot go through that door, if I cannot walk through that door, maybe I could fly. Maybe I could do something else. Maybe I can go around. So there are multiple ways of looking at this. And it frees you. Self-reflection allows you to pause and take a tally of the things you really believe to be true. What are the things? And it frees you from a lot of assumptions that we put in life. It also gets you away from dissonance. Dissonance is when you hold two beliefs, and so you're believing something and you're acting another way. So people call you a hypocrite. And you don't want to do that when you want to be in relationship. You want to be authentic self. You want to come up with and say, here I am. Okay, so it also allows you to build better relationship. The reason why some relationships falter, a lot of relationships falter and get messed up, is because you don't know who you are. If there are two people in a relationship and one person has their own sense of self and the other person doesn't, it becomes very challenging. It becomes very challenging. So what you want to do is get a better sense of who you are so that you can stand and allow other people to be who they are. Okay, let me say that again. When you know who you are, you give other people a chance to be who they are. It doesn't matter that we're not in competition with each other. We can all be great. We can all be phenomenal. We can all be just good. We can all just, be creative. It is fine. Just because you're doing something in your space that I'm not doing in my space doesn't make me less than, doesn't make you less than. So when we give those around us ability to shine, we allow we can get better relationships that way. And this is practice from when you have someone that you are with. When you know who you are, when you know that you're not taking on somebody else's pain, that you stand in your own truth, you give them a chance to shine. You can shine. It's okay. There's no competition. You go do you, and it's fine. So those are the kind of things that we want to talk about. It gives you a better way to regulate your emotions, and you're not necessarily all the time just flipping by your emotions. If you're happy today, then you're happy. If you're sad today, then you're sad. And it's like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing. Nobody really knows who is going to show up. Nobody really knows what's going to show up. Is it the happy again, or is it the sad again? And know which one is going to show up, that is going to show up today. And so self-awareness allows you to modulate and regulate your emotions. It allows you because you're doing the meta emotions now, you're going to be aware of it, and you're not going to allow your emotions to carry you into this roller coaster life that nobody can endure. Even you yourself, you're tired of it. Like, how can you endure? You can't endure you. All of the stress of, oh my God, I'm so happy today. Oh my God, I'm so sad. Oh my God, I'm so happy. And if it's traumatic, if there's trauma involved, please get help. If there is some kind of mental illness, please get help. And if you reach out to us, we shall help you. So a lot of us grow up, when we talk about being self-aware, it's not something that we grow up with. It's not that something that we intrinsically know how to do. And so when you so people who are not self-aware gather into communities, and they are trying to help each other. So you go to church, for example, you sit next to this person who is also not self-aware, or you go to work, you sit with that person who is not so unaware, and we're all trying to just fake it. Enough of faking. We're not faking anymore. Everything has to be authentic at this point. And leaders, there's a leadership gap in self-awareness. If I told you the percentage of leaders who are self-aware, it's less than 5%. It's that low. Leaders who are not self-aware, it is amazing. It is ridiculous. So we need to get ourselves, if you're in any position of power, you want to be self-aware so that you can help people. So self-awareness is a power skill. We have to develop it. So how do you build it? So I have a few minutes to just throw it out there and share with you. I'm not going to throw it. I'm going to share it, to share with you how to build self-awareness. All right. So number one, practice mindfulness. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness, meditation, and just the mindfulness, the philosophy, the whole idea of being attentive, of attending to what is before you. Attend to your emotions. Attend to your feelings. Attend to your inner thoughts. Attend to your pains. Attend to your joy. That's all mindfulness really is about. It's about being in the present. It's about attending to the here and the now. We're all either people are stuck in the past or planning for the future. And 50% of your life you spend thinking about other things but your present situation. So the first thing we want to do is don't allow your mind to wander too long away. Bring it back. All right. And see what is going on with you. Mindfulness, practice mindfulness. It increases your self-awareness. You know yourself in a way that nobody will know you. And you'll be able to give of yourself in the way that somebody who is not self-aware will not be able to give. That is where intimacy is. This whole idea of being naked without shame. This whole idea of being naked without shame. You cannot be naked without shame if you don't know who you are. The ability to disrobe and say, here it and is and not necessarily literally, but figuratively and literally, to be able to say that this is who I am. This is who I am, all of me with no nothing, nothing, nothing. That is where you want. That's where mindfulness will get you. That is where mindfulness will get you. Also, practice, releasing those endorphins you get from exercising, walking in, quiet nature, being mindful of what you're doing when you're walking. Notice the people around you when you're walking. Become self-aware. And look, I'm on this thing right now where I've been teaching people about the mindfulness philosophy. And the philosophy is all about attending to now, like I said, but you can practice mindfulness in such little ways. So, like when you're eating your food, like be mindful of your food. Be mindful. Don't just rush it. Don't just rush to eat. Don't just eat because you're hungry. Like really enjoy it. This whole idea of enjoying life. This idea that I'm going to enjoy it. So whatever the plate of food, first of all, serve it in the way that you want. Put it in front of you, like the way you will serve the guest, the way you will serve your guest. Like that's where you put your food and then chew it slowly, savor it. Like then enjoy the food. When you're drinking water, enjoy it. And if you're going to take a shower, like don't just jump in there and just scrub your body and get out. No, 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 no. We're gonna slow things down. Like get in there and lather and lather and begin to understand that look, this your body is blessed. You're blessed to have it and take care of it. So little things like that that's mindfulness. That's being mindful of what is in front of you. When you're talking to somebody, like be mindful of them in front of you, like be mindful of them, like hear them. And so for the same thing you're going to do for you, treat yourself as your own best friend. How will you care for your own best friend? How do you would listen to them? You listen to them, you become a good listener. Being a good listener increases your self-awareness, the ability to get out of yourself, of the box, the ability to get out of the box, the ability to know that in self-awareness we begin to notice light begins to come into dark areas of our lives. You're just going to get an epiphany. You're going to get those aha moments. It will be like, oh my gosh, really? Wow. Okay. That's what happens during mindfulness and during self-awareness. This is what happens. You're getting this aha moment. You're getting understanding of things. Oh, so that's what was happening when I was growing up. Oh, so that's why I do this. Also, this you become so aware. It is enlightening. It is so freeing. You'll get away from this, life sucks kind of, this is the box. I got to stay in this box. There is no box. Get rid of the box. We're tired of this box. We don't want a box. I want to fly. So we're not going to be boxed in by our own limitations, by the things that are drivers of our lives that can impede you from seeing the person in front of you. Do you know that when you're not self-aware, you can have your perfect fit that can be right there next to you and you will not notice it? You will not notice it. So self-awareness brings light. It brings enlightenment. It brings illumination. It brings revelation. You can see and recognize. You can take a journey with somebody when you're self-aware. Unless that I cannot take when I'm hiding. There's the story of Genesis talked about of creation of Adam and Eve. It talked about them being wrapped in figs, covered in figs, right? And sometimes we're still doing that in our lives where we go around hiding. What this self-awareness is we want the person that you're going to marry. You want the person that's going to be your partner, the person that's going to be yours for life. You want them to show up. You don't want to be hiding, because that means they're having a relationship with a fake you. Who? Well, let us sit. Let us sit for a moment. We don't want the fake you to be in a relationship. We want the whole you to be in a relationship. All right. The whole you, the one that is imperfect but loving, the one that has gone through mess but not messed up, the one that is broken but still alive, the one who has been wounded from all kinds of maybe love relationships that have gone sour but is still here to love, the one that has wounds to show for it. That person, yes, that person is one that is ready to take the journey. That person is the one who is ready to be a perfect fit. That person is the one who is ready to say, here I am with all of my imperfections, all right, getting ready to take this walk with you and for us to have this life that will not be the same if you were not in my life. It is not a good idea to settle for someone who just makes you feel okay. And I'm going to close with this. If you've been in the desert, if you've been in the desert of life for a long time, when somebody offers you a glass of water, it's going to feel like an ocean. Let me say that again. If you've been in the desert for a long time and you've been thirsty, thirsty for love, thirsty for affection, thirsty, 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 thirsty for just a touch, somebody gives you a glass of water, you will think it's an ocean. There's reason why we need to be able to step back and say, am I in the desert? I better fill my cup up. I better have a jar full of water. I better do this. I better fill up so that I can recognize an ocean when I see it. So I don't think a cup of water is an ocean. So you've been so neglected in that love area, and somebody just says, oh, you look so good, oh, you look nice, oh, what is this? And you were going to take that as the world. You're going to take that as if, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my God, I'm in love, I'm in love. And then you marry them and you think, what? No, we're not going to do that. It is in the place of self-awareness that you begin to rediscover yourself, who you are. You're so wonderful. You're so beautiful. Yes, you're not perfect. Yes, you're not perfect, but there is no one else like you on the face of this world. And you deserve somebody who would recognize you. You deserve somebody who would run towards you. One of my favorite stories in scriptures is the story of Jacob. Jacob was a blessed man. He had just received the blessing from his father. He had received the blessing. He was running away, right, from his brother, but he had been blessed. He got the blessing of Abraham. He got it. Like he got it. So he is proud of this. And his father also gave him this Azer blessing, this blessing to prosper, to have progeny, to find a mate. And the story goes that by the time he got to his uncle's place, he had been robbed. He didn't have anything. He didn't have any what do you call it? Material stuff to hold. He had nothing, and as a possession, he didn't have anything. He didn't have anything. But you know what? But you know what? When he saw Rachel, when he saw her, they both recognized each other because he was carrying something. This knowledge that I'm going to meet somebody, this knowledge that this blessing has to be passed on from one generation to another. So this thing that we're talking about is no joke, that you are a carrier of the blessing. And you are a carrier of the blessing, and not everyone is going to recognize the blessing on your life and the power that is intrinsically yours until you first begin to recognize it. And once you recognize it, then you're ready to make a selection. I will see you next week. On that note, meditate on these things that I've said today, and you will be a changed person. Have a blessed day. All right. All right, thank you. Thank you, guys. I'm going to end the broadcast now. I see some comments. I'm just saying it right now. All right.